Hello, am I audible?
Hey Shreya, yes, you're audible.
Thanks, Sakshi. Okay, so hello everybody, good evening, and welcome to another session of Summer of Skills. Today, we have with us Sakshi Palekar, our very own senior from PCC. She has been a community manager at Hexacoders, a front-end developer, UI UX developer at ImagineWorks, and has been a design mentor with us at GDSC PCC too, and has recently bagged an internship at the prestigious Microsoft. We are very glad to have her today for our session, as she is yet again over here with us to extend a helping hand in building a perfect resume. Resume building is no doubt an important step, and we must take it before we enter the industrial world. So let us all learn a little more about this from today's session. Over to you, Sakshi.
Thank you so much, Shreya. Thank you. I'll share my screen. Just let me know once it's visible. Yes, is it visible?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, hello everyone. Good evening. My name is Sakshi, and I welcome you all to this session on resume building. So, yeah, what is today's agenda? We'll try to cover the topics. What is resume versus CV, and what do you need to know before making a perfect resume, and some tips to make your resume enhance your resume. And there's something known as ATS compliant resume. We'll talk about that too, and we will end the session with some case studies on resume. So a little bit about me. I am a final year computer engineering student, okay, at PCC Verna, and I'm an incoming intern at Microsoft as a technical support engineer. So, how to write an awesome resume? So, a resume is basically a document, you can say, that basically defines your skills, your education, and all the achievements that you have gathered throughout your professional career. So it is a brief informative document, and it's like how a biodata will tell all the information about you in your personal life. Resume is the same, but for your professional life. So let's talk about the difference between a resume and a CV. Many people, including myself, was confused that a resume and a CV is the same and I can just use it. But they are not interchangeable. They are not the same. So what is the difference between a resume and a CV? So CV is known as curriculum vitae, and it is a summary of your experience and your abilities, but it is extensive. Okay, it covers your whole or your entire academic career, and you can also include your publications, presentation, references, any kind of research papers that you have written. So it will start, you can include information right from your school life, high school, college, your first job experience, etc. But resumes are quite concise and to the point, and it is it is specific to the job or the role that you're applying to. So next, we know that resume writing can be tricky and can be time consuming, but preparation is the key. If you see at the facts, okay, so many HR departments receive as much as 1,000 resumes, and some even receive 200 resumes per available position. So that's a humongous number, right? Many people are applying for the same role, and employers just need few seconds to scan your resume and understand your abilities and understand you as a person. So you know that this piece of paper is quite important if you want to land your dream job or a dream internship. So here I will discuss what is the basic structure or the layout of your resume. It will contain like say 4 to 5 sections. The first is contact information. Then comes education, experience, skills and interest, and some additional information. So I will go through each of this section. Before that, let us discuss the three types of resume formats. First is reverse chronological, second is a functional or a fresher resume, and the third is a combination of both. So let's take, say, three case studies. Okay, so there's a person named, say, Tom. Okay, Tom has worked in an electrical company, say, for 15 years. Okay, and he has all the expertise and all the knowledge in his domain. And say he wants to make a job switch to a different company, but in the same domain. Now, in that case, he might go for a resume which is in a reverse chronological format. What it basically means is you list your experience in the chronological order, meaning whatever you have experienced first, like your latest job, you'll write first, then the one before that, then the one before that, and so on. Next is a functional or a fresher resume. Say Rachel. So she is a freelancer. She does some side gigs. Okay, she has done some side projects, and now the thing is, she doesn't have any kind of full-time experience or even a part-time experience, job experience, I mean to say. So if she wants to apply for a job, what can she do? She can follow the format of a functional or a fresher resume. Here, she can highlight all the projects that she has worked on, all the organizations that she has interned at, all the side gigs that she has uh, done. So this kind of resume, focuses more on the functionality or more on the practical aspects of what you have done. So next is combination of both, reverse chronological plus functional. This is best suitable for people with diverse skill set. Now let's come to each of the subsection of a resume. First is the contact information. This is the most important section, because this in this through this, the recruiter or the employer will be able to contact you, right? So this section should have your name, your phone number, your email address, and it can also contain a link to your say any professional account like LinkedIn. Now please try to provide a professional email address. Okay, don't use some high school or some middle school address. And you can just write your LinkedIn ID, but I would suggest you all to, insert a hyperlink. You have to make your recruiter's life easy, because that recruiter has to scan through so many resumes, and it is quite a tedious job, and it can get tiring. So you have to make it easy for them. Put a hyperlink so that the recruiter can just click on the link, visit your profile, scan through your profile, okay, and you can understand what are your qualifications, etc. So yes, that's about the contact information. Coming to education section. So you can list your current education that you're pursuing. Say if you're studying in college, you can write the degree, the name of the institution, how many years you attended, like say from 2015 to 2019, and the location of the institution. This is optional. Your CGPA or any kind of relevant coursework that you have done, or some exchange programs. Now, education, you can just list your current college, but you can also mention the school that you have attended or the high school that you have attended. Next is experience. Now, this is an important section if you think from the perspective of a person who hasn't had any kind of job experience, okay, who is a fresher or who is applying for the internship or the job role for the very first time. So in that case, if you don't have any prior experience, what would you do? So there are four things that you have to highlight in your resume, and particularly in this section. First is internships. So if you have done any kind of internships, say technical as well as non-technical, you can highlight it in your resume. Next is any kind of extracurricular activities. Say you organize some workshop or attended some hackathons or won some hackathons, any kind of extracurricular activities. Next is volunteering experiences. These play an important role because they highlight the stuff that you have done beyond your academic uh, curriculum, right? So it lays an impact that you are a person who likes to work in a team, who likes to go ahead and help others. So it basically highlights your soft skills and the type of a person you are. And volunteering experiences are quite important when it comes to if you're applying for some foreign universities. They do check at your volunteering experiences in particular. And final is the projects are the best way that you can showcase your experience, because it shows that you have not just learned the coursework or not just done any online course, but you have actually applied it in real world, say by making a website or by making an application, okay, or by making a chatbot, anything, okay. The best thing is, if you're writing about your projects, write about the project name, the title, then highlight the points that you have contributed in. Suppose if you have not done a solo project, okay, even if you've done a group project, highlight what was your contribution and what impact did you lay in that project work. And as I said, make your recruiter's life easy. If you have any kind of project where you have hosted a website, okay, if you have the link of it, right, just attach the link, okay, or attach the hyperlink so that the recruiter can directly go and view your website and see like what kind of work you have done. Because this is the best way you can showcase your technical skills. And yeah, so this is the format of how you could list your activities. First is write the title of the section, okay, like say web developer, okay, this is for the roles, like all the internships that you have done. Then is the organization that you work for, say PCC or say Microsoft or whatever company or whatever organization that you work for. Then is what was the role in that organization, and write what was the time period you worked for, say 3 months, 1 month, 6 months, okay. And write what kind of achievements or what kind of awards you won during that internship. Next is the skills and your interest. So I would say soft skills. Okay, let's just come first to soft skills and hard skills. So what are those? Hard skills are any kind of skills that are specific to your domain, like technical knowledge or training that you have acquired in that particular field. Okay, they're work specific. Like say, like for example, if let's take an example of a web developer. I don't know why I'm getting that example, but let's just take it. So hard skill in web development would be knowing the front end like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, knowing the back end, okay, knowing the UI UX designing, knowing how to host the website. So all these are technical skills. Coming to the soft skills are any kind of attributes or habits that describe how you as a person work in an environment or a setting, okay. So they might not be very specific to the job, but they indirectly help you adapt to the situation or adapt to the work environment that you'll be working in future. Like say if at an internship you led a team of say 4 5 members, okay, and your project was very successful, so that signifies that you're very good at teamwork and you know how to handle stressful situations. Then the recruiter knows that you are quite a responsible person, and you have those leadership qualities and those communication skills. Because this is my personal opinion, but I think that soft skills are equally important as hard skills, because you may have all the hard skills or the technical skills, okay, all the knowledge, but then if you're not able to communicate to the other person or communicate to your team or not be able to lay your ideas across, then it might have a negative impact on your performance. So yes, both play an equal role, and it is important to highlight all the skills as well. And last section in the resume would be any kind of additional information, say any kind of hobbies, like you have been a professional swimmer, okay, or a state champion, or if you know more than multiple languages, like say English, Hindi, Kannada, Marathi, Urdu, whatever. But because see, languages, no, it might lay a positive impact on the recruiter, that if they are specific to a region, Okay, like if your company is based in Bengaluru and if you know Kannada, so it's like a positive, impact. Like, oh, if the person is very well versed in Kannada, then you might be able to communicate very well with other members. And any kind of awards, certifications, as I said, if you've participated in any competition, if you've won it, you should and you can include it in this section. Next is some things that you should not do in your resume. The resume is for professional purpose. Okay, so the recruiter doesn't want to see your birth date or your photo or your very old email address. See, it's not a biodata, it's meant for a professional purpose. So make it concise, make it to the point. Okay, and one more thing, it's better not to lie on your resume. I know, like, some things sometimes you might feel like, oh, let's just add this skill or let's just add this thing in my resume. Okay, that maybe I'll study later, but let's just add it now. Okay, but the recruiters are quite professional and they are quite experienced. So even if your resume passes and you get selected for the interview, they will very well know that you are lying. They can catch you, because if, say, you list a skill called let's say Python. Okay, you know Python very well, language, and you list it on your resume. In reality, you are not very well aware about that language, but you list it. And during the interview, the recruiter asks you questions on Python programming language. So if you're not able to answer it very well, the recruiter very well knows that you have bluffed and you have just written it just to fill up the resume. So don't do that. See, when I first wrote my first resume when I was in third year, and it was for an internship, and they had asked for a resume. And I was like, oh my god, what do I do? Okay, resume. It was like a big thing, a big headache. But then I just use a common template that was available online. It was very horrible looking, but I didn't know that time that it was not a good one. But anyways, so I used that, and there were many blank spaces. I was not able to fill stuff in a resume. Okay, but I was told by some people and some seniors that it's better if you don't know, if you don't have much to fill in a resume, it's okay. Just write whatever you know and you're confident about. Okay, even if it's just 2 3 skills, but you're very well confident that you'll be able to answer whatever kind of questions the recruiter asks. It's good for you. See, recruiters, they appreciate your honesty, and they know that even if you're not very versed with technical skills can be built, but honesty is like a characteristic or a trait which you have since childhood or since a very long time. Okay, so they appreciate your honesty. And yeah, that's what I would like to talk about this section. Next, coming to the very common resume mistakes. Okay, spelling or grammatical errors. So please avoid it. Okay, what you can do is, first thing, you scan the resume at least 2 to 3 times, word by word, sentence by sentence, paragraph by paragraph, however it is. Next, send the resume, give it to someone else to read, because sometimes you might not be able to notice that, oh, there's a mistake here, there's a mistake there. Okay, so others might be able to see it from a different perspective and they may be able to point out certain things. So it's always better to give your resume for a review, take a review from another person. Next is a very important section. Okay, omitting action verbs and quantifiable metrics. What does this mean? So action verbs, as it suggests, you have to tell what you have done in a professional way. Like, for example, helped organize an event. A very common sentence. I know everyone uses it. I know I have myself used that word in my resume. Help doing this, organize this. It's very common. You have to be unique and you have to show your impact through correct usage of words. And you have to play around the words. Okay, it might mean the same meaning, helped, assisted, but you know what the word assisted, how, what kind of impact it lays on the reader when the reader first reads it. Oh, assisted. Okay, you know what I'm saying, right? Now, next is quantifiable metrics. You have to highlight what kind of impact or progress you have made through a project that you have worked on or through a team that you have worked with. Okay, so like I said, helped people organize an event doesn't tell much about what you have done, right? But helped organize an event with um 30 plus participants. You know, the number, okay, the number plays an important role. It highlights like how much of impact you as a person has played or laid in that kind of a situation. So always make use of numbers, metrics, and action verbs. Next is omitting project or work experience. So even if you don't have a job experience, at least try to include any kind of project work that you have done or any kind of workshops that you have organized or attended. So this show that, okay, yeah, you are a person who not just believes in like just learning rote learning stuff, but also believes in applicative or applying that knowledge that you have gained. Okay, so the recruiter should get the first impression from you that, oh, this guy knows stuff and he knows how to build stuff. Okay, so your work experience as a fresher at least matters through projects, through internships, work experience. So this is the way out. Next is highlighting duties instead of accomplishments. What does it mean is, don't just write attended a meeting, okay, uh, organized some task with group. These are duties in any kind of role. Okay, you're supposed to do it. What have you done above it or ahead of it? Okay, what have you done extra? Okay, what kind of achievements or accomplishments you have done, that you need to highlight. You know, that is what the recruiter is quite interested in. Okay, not just your any kind of duties or roles that you were supposed to anyways do in your project work. And don't leave out important information. See, stuff like extracurricular activities and any kind of accomplishments or awards you have won, highlight it. Don't make a big section, write a small in a small section, just highlight those points, because they know that you are not just academic oriented, but you are a person who is very well versed with other things also apart from academics. So yes, next is best resume writing tips. Like I mentioned before, avoid using vague terms like detail oriented, hard worker. These are very, very common terms, okay? And instead use some action verbs like strategized, managed, launched. So Howard, right, has created a good list of such words which you can use in your resume writing. And yeah, I will obviously share those resources at the end of the session. But yes, please note this point. Don't make use of very common words. Next is, as I mentioned, how your skills and your work has benefited your team or your employer or the project that you are working on. Show your impact, okay? Show that you have brought out a good result, okay, or a positive impact in the project or anywhere that you have worked with. And yeah, make your contact information very prominent and more like correct, okay? Avoid using photo. See, the contact information is the only way through which, if your resume gets selected and if you're selected for an interview, the recruiter can only contact you through the information that you have provided, right? So provide a correct email address, check if you have provided the correct one, provide the correct phone number, and your LinkedIn account too. Also, if say you're applying for a technical role and you have some GitHub repositories, you can also link your GitHub ID, okay, along with your besides your LinkedIn. So they can obviously go through all your projects that you have worked with or your contributions that you have made. Okay. Next is make use of bullet points for better readability. Like, you must have heard this so many times from teachers, right? Your own teachers. Please don't write big paragraphs. It makes it so tough to read them and try to understand what you have written. It's better to write in bullet points. Okay, it makes it so easy to read and scan through it, and you know, like, oh, this point highlights this thing, or this point tells this about the project work we have worked on. So make use of bullet points, even so you can even highlight or make some words bold, okay, if you want to. Next is be very consistent about the styles and the formats that you used. Check for spellings and grammatical errors and keep your resume up to one page only. Because, see, as a fresher, it is expected and for you to have only one page resume. Only people with a lot of experience and many years of experience, they can have, like, say, 1, 2, or 3 page resume. But for a fresher, it's recommended only one page resume. And yes, as I said, styles and format. See, for example, when you write about the dates, okay, from when to when you worked at a particular position, keep it consistent. Okay, suppose you write 10, I mean the month 10, 2018. Follow the same format everywhere. Don't write Feb 2018 one place and 10 2018 at one place. Keep it consistent. Next is, yeah, the hardest thing about writing resumes is having to be picky. You have to be very critical about what kind of information or what kind of words you are using. Like, say, for example, if you're applying for a role of, say, data analyst, it's a very technical role. Don't write about things like the dance competition you won at sixth grade, okay? Doesn't make sense, right? You're applying for a technical role, you have to be specific, you have to be choosy about what you write, because that kind of information is very irrelevant and it's not at all required in the first place. So you have to be very critical and you have to be very smart about what all you include in your resume for the role that you're applying to. Next, now let's compare, okay, like the thing that I mentioned just few minutes before. You have to make use of action words and quantifiable, you get what I mean, metrics, okay. Make use of numbers. So if you read on the left hand side, there is something called planned events. So planned events at so and so organization versus organized a sold out charity event for 300 people and raised $125,000. How does this sound? You know, it shows that impact, right? It shows like, oh my god, wow, you raised so much money and you organized it for so many people. It shows the impact that you have had in that particular role. Now see the second one. Produce an email campaign on a monthly basis. Okay, fine. But then next, produced 70 to 90 email campaigns and generated over 30 million emails to customers per month. Wow. It even feels good to read that piece of information, right? It tells like, oh, this person has really worked hard at this particular role, and he had not just worked hard, but he has got a positive result out of his work. So you can read the next one, but you get my point, right? You have to highlight the numbers and the metrics and the action verbs. That is the most important thing. And in your resume, you can actually bold it out. Okay, like numbers here, 32%, 20, 300 people. Highlight it. Okay, that's because when you highlight something, that's the first thing that catches your eye. So the recruiter can, see it in the first glance itself. Now, coming to what is ATS compliant resume. So ATS is basically applicant tracking system. Okay, it is a application software basically. Okay, it scans your resumes and it scans for some keywords, for some skills which are specific to the role that you're applying for. So here in this case, right, a human is not reading your resume. It's a software, it's a computer that is scanning your resume. So you know how careful you have to be in that case. Okay, a human can still understand, oh, okay, fine, this resume is for this role. Okay, the person can still, neglect some things, but in this case you have to be very specific on what words you highlight. Suppose if you're applying for the role of a web developer, you have to highlight terms like front end, HTML, CSS. You get it, like the technical terms. The resume should show that, oh, you're applying for this kind of a role. So if it doesn't go well with the ATS system, right, it will never get to the next phase. Okay, it will get stuck in the loop. So nowadays, most of the Fortune 500 companies and the top companies rely on applicant tracking system. So let me share my personal experience. Okay, so the internship that I got at Microsoft, it was basically through a hackathon. Okay, and the first phase of hackathon itself, like the first round, was resume screening. Okay, and I remember like my first resume, which I told was very shabby looking, very disorganized. It was two-column resume with orange, no, red color or something kind of colors. It was very bad. Okay, so I knew that this wouldn't pass through the system. I knew. See, there were around 12,000 plus applications. Okay, so this obviously humans or people wouldn't sit and scan your resumes. This would obviously go through an ATS system. And for that to even pass through the ATS system, I had to modify my resume. So what I did was I gathered some resources. I made the resume in that particular order, like whatever I'm sharing with you now. And it thankfully passed through that round, and only the top 200 people were selected. So it definitely made a huge impact. Okay, just like few hours, spending few hours on modifying and rectifying your resume and making sure that it is the perfect fit can change everything. Like now you can see, like it just passed through that round and then everything is the history. So yeah, I really thank myself for making changes to my previous resume for that. Next is so yeah, so here are some tips on how we can make it ATS friendly. So tailor your resume, make it unique, it should highlight you. Okay, you just don't. I would recommend you to not copy a resume directly from the internet, or don't make use directly of a resume online resume maker. I would not suggest you to do that. Okay, I have shared a template at the end. Okay, you can use that. It's a very simple Word document, and you can edit it, but it's very neat and systematic. So yeah, next is use proper fonts. Suppose if you're using the font size as 11 or 12, keep it consistent. Don't change it anywhere in between. You have to distinguish the sections very properly. Okay, like first section is contact information, then the education, then the skills. It should be very distinguishable. Okay, it should not get mixed up. And yeah, as I said, avoid using two columns or tables, and don't use headers or footers. Now, another thing, okay, don't use more than one color. Stick to black, standard black color. And one more thing, when you're trying to save your resume, or if you're trying to send your resume to anybody, please send it as a PDF file. Okay, because sometimes, see what happens, PDF, anyone on any device can open it very quickly. Suppose if I send you my resume in a PDF format, you can just quickly open it on your phone and you can just scan through it, right? The formatting stays intact. If you send a Word file, some people might have different softwares to open the Word file. So the formatting can change and it can impact your layout. Okay, it might change it completely also. Who knows? So you don't want that to happen. Best advice, convert it to a PDF format and send it. And yeah, please save your PDF or the name with a proper name. Don't save as xyz.pdf or resume.pdf. Save it as resume or underscore your name, or your name underscore resume. Okay, so it knows what is it. It's a resume and it belongs to you. Okay, next is, yes, now let's come to case studies. Okay, uh, I hope it is visible. Okay, is it visible? Hello.
Yes, Sakshi, it's visible.
Okay,
The
great.
yeah.
Because yeah, it's a tiny picture. So I'm going to show you two resumes, okay, and tell you how the other one is better than this one. Okay, so if you have a look at this resume, just have a look at it. I'll give you just a few seconds. Okay, just glance to it. So yeah, so if you look through it, this person has provided two addresses. Do you think it is required to provide a current address and a permanent address? Not required. Just provide the one which you are currently staying at. Okay. So this is unnecessary information. This is taking up the space from your resume. Instead, you could add some important information in that space. Okay. Next is there are a lot of blank spaces which I'm finding. You can try to eliminate those blank spaces. Okay, next is the spacing of the bullets is quite off. Okay, if you see, the bullets are spaced right in the a little bit in the middle. So the spacing and the styling and the formatting is a little bit off in this resume, and there are no metrics, no numbers, nothing highlighted. Okay, this resume doesn't show what kind of impact Thomas, okay, in this case, has impacted, okay, in his organization or his company. And it is better to include the experiences that are relevant to the job role that you're applying for. Okay, so if you're applying for the role of say a video editor, okay, just an example, you wouldn't include what you did in some other field, right? As a software engineer, okay, might not be relevant to the role that you're applying for. So stick to it. Stick to what is relevant to you and the role that you're applying for. Now, coming to the next resume, if you see here, look at this. So, okay, the one thing, okay, that helped me a lot in my resume building journey, and like I learned so much through this specific account, okay, called Consulting, if I'm spelling it correct. So I found them on Instagram and on LinkedIn. So they share like a quick tips, okay, on how to build a proper resume, how to connect or network with your recruiters, and how to write your cover letters, okay, and various job related tips. Okay, so I would highly recommend you all to follow them on various platforms, whichever is suitable for you. They are also available on YouTube. So I used to follow their videos, and then I used to write down the tips, whatever they share. So if you see at this resume, there are hardly any blank spaces on the sides. In middle, it's fine because it's differentiating the paragraphs. But yeah, on the side there are hardly any blank spaces. It is a very well formatted resume. Contact details are very nicely mentioned. See here, his LinkedIn account, his phone number, then I guess his mail, okay, his personal website, I guess, yeah, personal website. So yeah, if you have any kind of a personal website or a blog, you could also add that, okay, to the contact information. Next, coming to the education section. See, one thing, all the sections are so nicely distinguished. So at a glance, you can say, oh, this is the education section. Oh, this is the work experience. Or, oh, I can find the leadership experience over here, right? Now, see, in the education section, he has highlighted the university he has studied at, what was the degree, okay, I mean the domain, where what is the location, what is the graduation date or the year, and his yeah, CGPA or GPA or any kind of awards won, okay, all this is highlighted here in the form of bullets. Next, coming to the work experience. Now, see, you have to write about the organization that you worked at, highlight it, write the location. This is not compulsory, but it's better to include it, and write the date and the role that you had applied for, like say UI UX designer or say data analyst, content writer, whatever it is, and write all the points, okay, in the form of bullet points. Don't write in paragraphs. See here, if you see this 15%, 5,000, 25%, he has highlighted all the metrics, okay. And if you see another thing, all the dates are in the same format throughout the resume, so it is quite consistent. Okay, it's not here it's January 2017, June 2017, and here it's some other format. No, it's better to it should look appealing to the eye, right? So keep it consistent. Next is, yeah, he has make use of action word, engaged, generated, formulated, strategized, okay, collaborated. So this gave a positive impression. Next is the leadership roles. So if you have led any kind of team or a project, so you can definitely add it. And yeah, lastly, he has mentioned about the technical skills and the projects that he has worked on and the soft skills. So this resume is very well formatted. Responsibilities are highlighted. Okay, leadership and volunteering experiences are listed, and the hard skills are very relevant to the role that he is applying to. And the position and the company and the location, okay, and the time frame, it is all clearly distinguished. Okay, see here, italics, he's made of italics for highlighting the date, okay, or the time frame. Basically, he has made the company or the organization's name bold, so you know, like, oh, whatever is in bold is the organization that he has worked for or the institution that he has attended. Okay, and yes, added bullet points instead of paragraphs. Okay, hope this makes sense. And yes, that is it. This is your guide to a perfect resume to land your first internship or your first job. So, and yeah, I will obviously share. Okay, if you have any kind of questions or queries even after the session, please feel free to, contact me at this email address, or you can even connect with me on LinkedIn. And of course, I will share this resources. uh, I will share this link in the chat section. So this has the link to the PPT, all the resources that I have uh, taken help of, and the Harvard resources that I mentioned, the link to all the channels, all the social media sites of Consulting. And yes, special mention to Vishruth, I guess he's here in this meeting. So he also shared some of the resources. So yes, I'm very much open to any kind of questions. So would love to interact with you all. Come on, guys. Yes, I'll be sharing this. I hope you all, copy and paste this link, okay? Because this is a Word document link. It's open to all. And yeah, this has all the resources at one place. So, okay, good question. So, under what section can we include about any online course certifications that we do? So, you can, in fact, include as a fresher, okay, you can make a separate section under experience, okay, as online courses or coursework. Basically, name a section named coursework and list all the courses that you have done, say machine learning, web development, content writing, UI UX designing, okay, from so sources. Like if you've done it from, say, Udemy, Coursera, NPTEL, or any Khan Academy, anything. If you have a certification for it or a valid certification, then you can definitely list it under a separate section as coursework. So yes. Yes, Vishruth says like he recommends you to include it only if it has a high bar. Okay, yeah.
So what I mean by this is, now the thing is, Udemy, I can take a certificate without actually doing the course.
Right. Right.
So if you are doing it from something like Coursera or Data Camp, right, where you have to give an exam at the end, that
Right.
would be highly recommended.
Very true. So even our college teachers, they recommend you to do courses from sites like Coursera, because see, it has a proper exam structure, proper what do you say, assignments, tests, quizzes, and a proper exam. Only if you pass the exam, you'll get the certificate. So yeah, do it from this kind of sites. Okay, That's what we would suggest you. Yes. Any questions? Anything? And don't think any question is silly or stupid, okay? I'm just your senior. You can ask me anything.
Sakshi,
Sakshi,
Yes. Ah,
okay,
yes. Yes.
we should go ahead.
I don't know. You go ahead first. If you have a question, you go ahead.
Yeah, it's a simple one. Just like how long or short should we elaborate on the soft skills?
Okay, so soft skills, just a line is also enough. At the last section, which I talked about, right? Skills and interest. In that, you can just highlight the word soft skills, put a colon, and write all the soft skills. Okay, team builder, creative, innovative, whatever soft skills that you have. In one line is also enough. You don't have to lay so much emphasis on your soft skills. Just a one or two lines is enough for that.
And the same for hard skills.
Yeah, same for hard skills. See, yeah, soft skills and hard skills, one, two, three lines maximum are enough to highlight it. Because see, how you use those hard skills and soft skills is you tell it through your projects or your experience or yeah, experience at internship, etc. Okay, you highlight it through those sections. So how you
Right,
made it applicative is through that section, but just telling about the hard skills in one or two lines is enough.
right. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, Vishnu, you were saying something.
Yeah, so just a small point while writing resume, right? It is
Yeah.
not like one size fits all.
Mm-hmm.
So a resume for like say company A, it won't be suffice for company B because there might be some difference with the culture of the company or the role itself.
Right.
So what would be better is you research about the company, see what are the if the company will be already on LinkedIn, so just research about the company, what are kind of people they hire. So let's assume for developers they hire people only with certain skills. Like let's assume that they hire people only for React JS. So if you have React JS in your what do you say? If you know React JS, you might have a higher chance of getting hired. So research about a company and then make a company specific resume.
Very, very true. So what you can do is, if you're applying for a specific role, it is very, very important to look at the JD. JD is a job description of that role. So certain roles have certain requirements, okay, that you have to fulfill. They have this like this many years of experience in this domain, okay, worked on this technology, okay, worked on this kind of back end, front end, whatever it is. So you try to tailor the resume or try to twist the resume according to the job description as well as according to the company that you are applying to. I have seen people, okay, through the LinkedIn account of one something itself, that people have made very creative resumes for companies like Spotify, okay, or if I'm not wrong, yeah, Spotify, and they made it nice like a Spotify UI resume. If you can actually go on their LinkedIn account and check it out, if they might have obviously posted about it. So it depends on company to company because not all companies are very open to such creativity, right? So yeah, please research well about the company. Go to YouTube, okay? People have already made videos about how my resume, how I got a job at Amazon or Google or Microsoft with this resume, right? So they have made resumes specific to those companies. Also, don't keep one resume for all jobs, okay? If you're like Vishnu said, make it specific to the role that you're applying to. You have to keep on switching it or keep on changing it according to the role. Don't be lazy to just submit one resume to all the online portals, okay? Tailor it because it will matter. It will get you a positive result. Yes. Any other questions? Anything?
Sakshi, we have a question in the chat section.
Oh, okay. Let me just have a look. What about those who never did an internship and don't have job experience? So in that case, try to highlight your project work. Okay. If you have not done a solo or a like your own project, Try to highlight if you have done a group project, okay? If you have not done that also, it's okay. If you're a fresher, like in second year, third year, even I myself had not done so many projects. So in that case, try to highlight if you have taken part any in any kind of competitions, if you have organized any kind of workshops. Try to highlight your leadership skills, okay? uh, Use good words. This will show an impact that even if you are not very versed with all the technical skills, it shows that you are willing to work, okay, and willing to learn. So yeah, that's what I would suggest. But yeah, try working on any small project. Any small project also is fine. Like if you can build a small website, okay, or a personal blog, or say a calculator application in any language, or any project that you have done in your own school college curriculum, okay? Like when teachers teach you a topic, you can just go on YouTube, search for any small project, okay, like a C++ application or a calculator program in using Python, okay, or a snake and ladder game, anything, any small things also is fine. You can build it, it won't take much time. So you can build such projects and highlight those projects in your resume. Yes. Yeah, right. Whatever you learn from courses also can be highlighted. See, you know, most of the coursework, they have these assignments, okay, and they have these mini projects, okay. Like one of the courses on web development from Udemy, right? It has so many mini projects like making your own personal website, small website, or making a, what is that, daily calendar or something like that. So when you do these courses, okay, you're obviously building those small projects as your submissions or as your assignments. You can add those only as your project work. That is perfectly fine as a fresher. Yeah, but it has to be relevant, yes, to whatever role you're applying to. Yes, any other questions? Anything, any kind of doubts?
Sakshi.
Yes.
Also, I had come across this article, like which said once that suppose I'm applying to a certain company, I mention about what my objective in that company would be and what changes I can bring about. So, is like how far is that like necessary in writing?
Like the summary you put on top of the resume, is that what you're talking about? Like the summary or the objective?
Yes, like for
Okay.
for that specific company.
Okay. See, it is optional. Like I have come across people saying it is recommended not to include it, but as a fresher, you can include it. I feel it's fine to include it, like a summary or a brief summary about describing you as a person. So most of the people don't recommend to include it, but it's optional. Yeah, I would say it's optional. Depends on you. See, one thing is trick. If your resume is not filling up, okay, in that case, I would suggest you to include it. There's no harm in including it. See, it won't lay up
Right.
negative impact, but yeah, depends on you.
Right.
That would be best covered in the cover letter, Shreya. That's what I
Right.
would recommend.
Okay.
As the cover letter has where you are coming from and where you will be going to. That's what the
Right.
point of cover letter is. So if the companies say they require you to add a cover letter, so in the cover letter itself we can say that okay, so I have so and so experience, but I am looking for to get the experience from you and what I can add to the company.
Right.
That would be best in the cover letter rather than the resume, because the resume has to give a brief introduction and the history about yourself, like what I know and how I have used it.
Correct.
Okay.
So, like, see, when if see, one thing I would recommend all of you all to do, if you all don't have a LinkedIn account, please open a LinkedIn account. Okay, it's very simple, And see, if you're looking for internships, okay, right now, if you're a fresher, one thing I would suggest is if you're interested in a specific role, and if you know some people, network with them, okay. Send some connection request, don't just send connect request, okay. Send a personalized message so that you get noticed, because not many people send the personalized invite and the recruiters usually just ignore them. So it is better to send that, and then along with that, if you can get access to the email address, send them a cover letter, send them a resume attached to it, so the recruiter knows like, what is your purpose of why are you contacting him or her, right? To get to the point and to see if they can actually help you out or not. And through this cold reach, okay, you can actually land an internship. So it is suggested to have a nice cover letter in case you're emailing them, and have a good resume in the PDF format. So it is quite readable, easy to read. If we add some stuff that's more than your area of expertise, then will we face any problem while working? Okay, so what I understand from this question is, if you know some things extra apart from the role that you're applying for, and see, if it's putting a good impression about you, I think you should include it. But then you should be really good at that thing, okay? Because see, the recruiter can say, oh, so you're good at chess, tell me about chess, tell me about this tournament, tell me about that. You understand what I'm saying? They will dig deep into it because they think, oh, you're expert in that, so you might be knowing that. Okay, so sometimes it depends on the recruiter and it depends on the interviewer also, okay? Like, okay, if I mean, if they have too many expectations from us, then after getting a job, one second, let me just try to rephrase it. Expectations from us. See, as a fresher, right? They are not focusing so much on your expertise, okay? Because they know you don't have much of the industry or the relevant experience, right? So they will focus on what all you have learned through the coursework, what all you have learned through college also. Please take this into consideration. Whatever you learn through college is important. It is very, very important when it comes to your technical interviews, if you're applying for some technical jobs. But they won't expect you to know high level stuff, okay, some hi-fi stuff. And no, that is not required. Some basic knowledge, some basic applications if you have developed, okay, some basic, just a basic level, entry level stuff they will expect you to know, because obviously training will be provided to you later at the job, right? So as a fresher, at least you're not expected to know extra stuff. If you know, well and good for you. But if you don't, it's okay. doesn't doesn't affect your selection process much. They just want to know, like, if you have the will to learn and to make a good impact in that company. You should be beneficial to that company, you should be an asset to the company. That's what they are looking for. So even if you don't know some technologies, it's fine, you can learn it. It's not an issue. So yeah. Yes, any other questions? I hope you have taken down the link, okay, of the resources, because it has the resources. And I would really suggest you all to read all those resources that I've shared, because there are some nice videos as well. And yeah, also please fill the feedback form, because you will receive your certificates through that only.
Sakshi, Sakshi,
Yes. Hi.
Pritesh here.
Oh,
Uh,
hi,
yeah.
Pritesh.
So right now I'm missing my main KKR versus this match right now, and I've come only because your section is going on. So yeah,
Oh,
from my side, I'll just tell you one thing. Just advise something for the juniors as a last thing right now, which is the
uh-huh.
advise something for like just 1 minute, which they will remember and carry on.
Okay,
Yeah,
Pritesh.
from my
I
side.
am. You want to
Yeah.
advise?
No, I'm
Huh?
asking you to advise something
Oh,
from your side, since you're the Microsoft VP
are
and all those. So yeah, just give them a good advice.
okay. But thanks
One
for
good advice,
attending.
final advice.
Okay. Thanks for attending. I appreciate that. But yeah, my advice would be it's okay to be lost. Okay, I have been through that. See, just because you score good marks and answer all papers well doesn't mean you have life figured out. No, okay, you can be in a mess, but you will figure it out. It's just that take one step at a time, focus on your personal growth, both academic and professional. Okay, like I know people are like, oh, what is this scoring and all doesn't matter. It matters to some extent. Okay, I'm not telling you to score 90%, 99%. Maintain a decent person, because see, if you want a job, okay, I'm talking through the perspective of a job immediately after your graduation, then they will see at your marks. Okay, there are minimal criteria of 60%, 65%, various companies. Okay, it depends on the companies, but yeah, maintain a decent CGPA, grow professionally, grow socially. Okay, I would say communication is a very, 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 very important skill. Please learn it. If you're awkward, it's fine. If you're shy, it's fine. If you're introvert, it's fine. Okay, you'll learn, you'll grow. Okay, if you see me in college, please come say hi to me. I'm not going to eat you up. So this is small steps that will make you grow, make you so confident that you can conquer the world. And also please enjoy your life. Okay, it's it's college. Make friends. Okay, talk to your seniors, talk to your juniors, talk to people, learn from them, because what you learn as a solo person, you can learn much more things than people around you. So make the best use of it. You will not get this again. Okay, so yeah, now especially if you are networking, you're coming to college. If you're coming to college physically, it's the best opportunity. Okay, participate in as many events as possible. Don't think that you don't know stuff. It's okay if you don't know. uh, what's there, you're not losing anything. So yeah, I think that sums it up.
Thank you so much for all the wise words.
I'm
We'll
sorry if I've
definitely
taken
implement them
more
all.
time. I'm sorry if
No,
I've
no,
extended like by
it's
7 minutes. So
it's definitely all worth it.
thank you.
Thank you so
Any
much.
yes.
Yeah, any questions if
Any
we
last
have?
questions? Even if you have questions, if you don't want to ask here, you can ask me personally on my LinkedIn account. I will be more than happy to answer. And you can also ask my classmates. Okay, we have very smart people in our class. You can ask Vishruth. You can definitely ask Pritesh. He's a very fun guy. So yes, Pritesh, thanks for coming. So yeah, please come say hi to us. We would love to meet with
Sure.
you all, talk to you all. Yes.
Same here.
So yeah, hope this was
All right.
fruitful.
Yes, it was definitely. Thank you so much. The
Thank
PPT
you.
also was really great and just what we all would want.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank you
much for
so much.
that.
Thank
Thank
you.
you everyone for joining in and see you all for the next session.
Thank you, guys.
And
Thank
please do
you.
fill the feedback form too.
Yes. And also, please take the resource link. Just, yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Thank you, guys. Bye.
Thank you, Sakshi. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.